Seasoned gym goers will tell you that protein powder is an essential supplement for muscle growth and that you need extra protein to sustain a healthy and active lifestyle. But what if we told you that this is a myth and you don't need protein powder at all? Happy Body Care Day, everyone, and welcome back to the Body Care Guru channel. Today we're going to talk through how you don't need protein powder to get the best results from your workout routine and lifestyle. Make sure you watch all the way until the end, as it's going to surprise you. The only way for the body to grow more muscle is to either produce more cells in the muscle tissue, a process called hyperplasia, or for these cells to become bigger in size. The way that cells become bigger in the muscle tissue is through a process called hypertrophy. Hypertrophy takes place when muscle tissue is damaged and the cells grow back larger in size. This is called muscle protein synthesis. One of the ways that we can help with repairing the muscle tissue during hypertrophy is by providing the muscle tissue with protein. Most diets in affluent countries contain the required amount of protein to facilitate a healthy lifestyle. According to experts, the recommended dietary allowance, or RDA, of protein that an adult should consume every day is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. This can easily be achieved by eating protein-rich foods, which are commonplace in most diets. You do not need protein powders to reach this goal. Equally, if you wish to up your protein intake, then you do not need protein powders either, as eating enough protein-rich food will more than compensate for the protein you will get in protein powders. There is a myth that protein powder is the only way we can build muscle. While protein powder is a quick and easy way of getting additional protein into your diet, you don't actually need it, and here's why. Resistance training. There have been many studies or meta-analysis conducted by health experts to see whether protein supplementation actually makes a difference in building muscle mass through resistance training. The most comprehensive of these studies was conducted by the British Journal of Sports Medicine in 2017. In this study, the scientific program sought a systematic review, meta-analysis, and meta-regression of the effect of protein supplementation on resistance training-induced gains in muscle mass and strength in healthy adults. During controlled trials, over 1,800 people were put into a fixed workout program where their average protein intake, including supplementation, was 1.4 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, well above the recommended dietary allowance of protein, RDA, intake that we explained in the last entry in this video. In the study, the subjects of the trial were split into two groups, experimental and control. The experimental group would be given an additional 36 grams of protein supplementation, while the control group would only be given a carbohydrate supplement to make sure that calorie intake was the same between both groups. In order for muscle to be developed, a calorie goal must be abided by, and so this was maintained between both groups. But what were the results from the trial? The resistance training program that tested subjects in the trial took on average 13 weeks to complete. The program included 3 training sessions per week for all subjects with 7 exercises. Each exercise contained 4 sets of 7 reps. The results concluded that the addition of extra protein did contribute to some muscle gain, but it was minimal. Those in the trial who didn't use protein supplementation still saw significant gains just through the process of resistance training. In fact, the study found that after consuming 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram per day, muscle tissue would not receive added protein, causing what is called a plateau. Those participating in the trial who didn't use protein supplementation saw their 1 rep max increase by 27 kilograms simply through training. However, those in the experimental group saw their 1 rep max increase by 29.49 kilograms, only a 2 kilogram increase on those who didn't use supplementation. The result? Protein supplementation does work, but only with negligible effect. So, if you are considering using supplementation, then you should first ask yourself why you're doing it and if it's actually making all that much difference. In fact, The researchers concluded in their analysis that resistance exercise training is a far more potent stimulus for increasing muscle strength than the addition of dietary protein supplementation. In the next part of the video, we will explain why protein powder is only useful for a very select group of people, and furthermore, why you don't need to use protein powder at all if you're not one of those people. Meta-analysis has proven that to get the most out of a high-protein diet, you must be fit and active and partake in resistance training weekly. This is because the body cannot build muscle on its own. It must be in a state of hypertrophy before protein in the muscle can contribute to muscle gain. Therefore, there is really not much point in drinking protein powder shakes if you are not actively trying to build muscle. If you are an athlete, then consuming that extra bit of protein could make all the difference, with some studies suggesting athletes should aim for an upper limit of 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. That is a huge increase from the recommended dietary allowance for most adults of 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. However, athletes are also doing a tremendous amount of physical activity. If you are not particularly active or seeking some performance-related goal, then you don't, simply put, need protein supplementation. Similarly, studies have suggested that the uplift of using protein powder supplements only accounts for a minimal amount of improvement during resistance and weight training. To reiterate our point, studies have shown that protein powder actually only accounted for an increase in weight training of 9% compared to those athletes who didn't use it. Try more nutritious alternatives to protein powder if you are an athlete. So, what is a nutritious and protein-dense alternative to protein powders? One of the downsides to traditional protein powder shakes is many people feel gassy or bloated after consuming them. High-protein fruit smoothies are a great way of getting that added protein into your diet, and they are quick and easy to make, as well as being highly nutritious. To make a great high-protein fruit smoothie, try using low-fat, high-protein yogurt instead of protein powder, nut butter, as well as your favorite vitamin-rich fruits and berries. Another great combination for a high-protein smoothie is by blending together bananas, nut butter, and oats. This combination can have between 15 and 30 grams of protein in it, depending on how large the serving is. Kefir is one supplementary food that can be consumed, which will give the dual benefits of high protein intake and support good gut health. Kefir can be consumed as part of a milk drink and contains a massive 14 grams of protein in just 1 cup. Kefir also contains loads of amino acids, while the bacteria culture within it is extraordinarily good for your gut health. While it is important to take note of protein intake when trying to build muscle through resistance training, it is also essential to be mindful of how we treat the rest of our bodies. Consuming too much of one thing can be bad for the body, so figuring out ways of getting protein into your body while treating these supplements as beneficial to your body's overall health is far better than simply consuming as much protein as possible. However, finding a nutritious protein supplement can be difficult, and protein powder is not nutritious. Another fantastic source of protein is nuts. This one is to be avoided if you have allergies pertaining to the consumption of them. But for those without allergies, mixed nuts are a fantastic way of getting that extra bit of protein into your diet. A handful of mixed nuts is great for snacking, as they are jam-packed and full of micronutrients and vitamins that are beneficial for your joints. Some store-bought packets of nuts can be very high in sodium, so be sure you buy your nuts unsalted. However, unsalted mixed nuts have an enormous amount of protein in them. For every 100 grams of mixed nuts, which equates to roughly 2 large handfuls, your body will be grateful for the addition of 20 grams of protein. If you find nuts to be bland, then a small scoop of nut butter, such as peanut or almond butter, is a great addition to a smoothie or milk-based drink. So, that just about wraps up our video that explores the reason why you don't need protein powders to get the best results out of your training. We hope this video is both informative and fun. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more videos containing handy tips for maintaining a healthy lifestyle and much, much more. Check out these videos to keep caring about your body, and we'll see you in the next video.